what has happened, it has made me basically a celebrity
Mhm.
in the community. I actually cannot go anywhere
Mhm.
without someone recognizing me.
Mhm.
I get a lot of people call me that want to buy a house.
Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Smart Agents Podcast. My name is Michael Walter and I'll be your host. Our goal with this podcast is to bring you tips and inspiration from fellow real estate insiders to help you grow your business. This episode features a 31-year veteran of the industry from Oakland and the surrounding areas in California. Now, before we get into today's interview, make sure you follow and subscribe to the show on whatever platform you listen to your podcast. You can find us on everything from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, we are there. Also, as you can see if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe to the Smart Agents YouTube channel. Click the bell to get notifications when each new episode is uploaded. Now for today's interview. Even though Don Dunbar has been in real estate for over 3 decades, that doesn't mean that he is just coasting by doing whatever has worked for him in the past. As you will see soon, over the course of the last year, Don has added more and more to his marketing toolbox, and it's paying off in a big way. All right, so let's dive right into it. If you could just, quickly just kind of tell me where you're at in the country, where your market is, and then how long you've been in real estate.
Well, my market area is the Oakland Bay Area. I cover Alameda County, Contra Costa, San Joaquin, and Solano.
Okay.
I actually worked all over California, but that's where I primarily send most of my business. I've been in business 31 years. I specialize I specialize with buyers, and I realize listings are easier to work with because this is like putting bait on a hook and just leaving it out there till you get someone to bite. So that's where it's at. I've been doing that for about 31 years.
Wow, 31 years. I mean, that's quite a career, and you've seen seen it all.
I've seen it. I went to college for real estate. I just didn't take the test. Merritt College up here, Peralta College System had a real estate program. And I went to the classes and took all the classes, and I understand the shifts in the market. So I kind of do pretty good because I can kind of see where it's going really quick. So I know which way to go.
Right.
And it's been helping me. That's one thing that really helped me stay afloat.
Right. So obviously in California, the COVID restrictions and everything like that have been kind of been in the forefront. They're a lot more restrictive there than in some places in the country. So how have you dealt with that over the last 6 months?
I actually have done pretty good when it comes to sales. Most of the properties I sell a lot of them are properties for investment, so I do pretty good. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers as well, so I'm going back and forth to Stockton like every weekend, showing houses. I actually just sent a contract to an agent just before I got on the line, but I'm working a lot with real estate. I have a relationship with a foreclosure bank, so I got one of those ready to go, so we're in escrow dealing with that. And I do a lot of things with like families and, getting families together to buy. So that's been one of the main things because the values are so high up here.
You talked about, because you've kind of, how to deal with the ups and downs and the roller coaster ride that is real estate right now is such a seller's market in so many places in the country. What are you doing to kind of market to sellers and say, look, right now is the time to do it. Don't wait 6 months.
Well, I do a couple things. I have television commercials on out here. Basketball season, we're doing that. TNT, VH1, BET. And then I do a massive mailer every month to my sphere of influence. I do a social media constantly every day. I'm finding content that's relevant to what we're doing here in California, putting that out. With Remax, we have several commercials that they made for us and put our face in it. So I send that out a lot. It gets me a lot of phone calls. I have I have 2 young ladies that come in and pull up numbers, put phone numbers for me in different areas. One Sacramento, another one right now we're doing Oakland, and in Sacramento, multi-units and single family. And I'll call those numbers based on the percentage of how the property in their condition. I shoot a lot of videos, get listings, and do a lot of that stuff. Yesterday I did a shown by appointment open house, which was a test run out here that I did to see how it worked, and it came out okay. I didn't get anyone calling and complaining, so it was okay.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm actually in the office now, sending emails out to my buyers. I'm just constantly doing everything that I would normally do in a regular market.
Right. So how long have you been doing the television ads for?
A year this week.
How's that working?
This week.
How's it working out for you?
Working pretty good. I get a lot of people calling me. I get a lot of people, other real estate, saying it's not going to work. What has happened, it has made me basically a celebrity in the community. I actually cannot go anywhere without someone recognizing me. I get a lot of people call me that want to buy a house, and some can, some can't. The ones that can't, we have a system in place to help them get their stuff together over a period of time. Like today is email to all those buyers, bomb email, encouraging them and that kind of stuff. And that's what I've been doing. And it keeps me busy, man. It keeps me busy.
Right.
Making 2 trips a week to Stockton. I got another buyer coming out from the commercial. If you go, it got me jumping the building. And I had the concept came from the boys, Super 8, a superhero type of agent who can leap tall buildings or negotiate tough deals or run real fast to get to return the calls, which is a big issue. And it would start off as a little joke for a regular video. And then I enjoyed it so much, I decided to put it out like that in the masses. And I had 2 of them. One pulling people out of rental pit and the other one me negotiating. So they run them, all the time out here. So, and it has helped. I've gotten a few buyers. I'm working with a couple buyers now that's ready to go, but the rest of the other individuals, we're just working on their credit, trying to get their credit straight and that kind of stuff. But the money is well spent. I spend, a couple grand a month on it. Just that, and I spend a little bit of money on my marketing to my database. I do a constant email blast every week to everybody in my database, my farm, my database, people I've contacted. Then my ladies come in and they make their calls. They give me anywhere from 50 to 100 phone numbers a week that I go through.
Right.
And I operate on a point system. Once I get my points, I call it a day.
Right.
And that's what I do. 75 points. Once I hit 75 points, everything I do is to discipline me to do better. And it's been working.
Yeah, having your face out there, I think is great, because you never know when you might be walking through the grocery store or something and somebody recognizes you and you can strike up a conversation that way.
All the time. The concept actually was designed. My wife's a real estate agent. The concept was because she's much better looking than I am. That was the concept, but she decided she didn't want to do it. And I was stuck shooting the video alone. And so I just came up with these things, and it worked for conversation piece in the beginning, but I knew that eventually it would work, and it was like, everybody said, why would you spend so much money to market? And my attitude from Grant Cardone was like, marketing should be your biggest expense in your budget. 30-40% should be spent on marketing. Yeah. And so I've always have had that attitude with business. This is not my first business I ran, but I always looked at it that way. And especially if they let you pay 30 days later, then that just keeps you hustling to get their money to pay so you can keep doing what you're doing. Right. And so for me, it works. I had one property went viral on Facebook. because of the price and the condition, and I stirred up. But I didn't even know everybody got to calling me about it. I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to sell a piece of property. I can care less if we go viral. But and most of my properties gets a lot of clicks, and I get a lot of calls. So, and then the money is well spent. If I get one deal, out of it, I'm doing good. So I've gotten way more than one deal. So It works out real fine.
And I think a lot of times people forget that the marketing, you get that one person the first time, they see their ad, they become a customer of yours, but then you get their repeat business maybe down the road, and then also all the referrals from them. So that one person, you got to take all that.
I have a listing right now on Tucker. I've sold that guy's house. I'm selling his mother's house. And one of the gentlemen that were living in the house I'm selling bought a condo 2 months ago. But that one guy, they saw that I talked to, got everything going, and he's looking to buy after we sell this other property. So, it works. And for me, I stay in touch with a lot of my past clients because of the commercial. I've heard they seen the commercial all the way up in Rio Vista. So I don't know how that happened, but it was fine with me. So what I have to do is just be conscious of where I'm at all the time, and try to go to places where it's presentable so it don't tarnish my brand. I've been working on my brand for 3 years, so now I realized once I got my brand where I have it, then now I just put stuff on Facebook and put stuff on YouTube. I try to stay away from the political aspect of everything. Stay away from the religious aspect. I put my content for positivity out there, and that's all I do. And it works for me.
Right. That's excellent.
And then I have a show. I haven't ran it. It's called Mimosa Talk. I broke my camera, so I got to order a new camera and mic, and I got the lights and stuff. It's over here in the corner, but we talk about real estate issues, the eviction moratorium, that kind of stuff. And it gets people to call me and ask for more questions. I just give them enough to get them on the hook, and then they call me and say, hey, Don, what's going on? I usually have all the paperwork to support it, and then I just put it out there. I didn't want to have a show of gossiping about people or anything like that. I just wanted to keep it straight business because I didn't want to mix the things.
Right. No, that's excellent. I think all those, everything wrapped up together. It's such a, you really are creating this whole brand. And I think, and that's awesome. That's really cool.
I'm telling you, man, I was out with a young lady I was trying to get to come on my team. And we were at this restaurant, it's a patio area. And one lady got up and walked toward the table, said, hey, you're the real estate man. I was like, I don't even know this chick. And I was telling the young lady, I'm like, look, I really can't go anywhere because people recognize me a lot. And she thought, I guess I was just giving her a bunch of BS. And when she went out me, she was like, wow. So when I got up to leave, it was a couple of other, people by the bar, and they saw me. That's that guy, And so, I try to not be a butthole, and just say, hey, how you doing? And, if they want to talk about real estate, I try to let them know, hey, look, I'm having dinner. Right now, just give me a call tomorrow or give me a number and I'll call you and that kind of thing. So it works out, man. It works out.
So I really want to thank Don for joining me. I love how he has jumped in headfirst with his television ads and is really embracing this new identity as a local celebrity. Now, on the next episode, we're actually going to pick up our conversation with Don and hear all about how he is working with buyers with less than ideal financial situations. And he's actually getting them the help that they need to help them buy houses later on down the road. Now, if you think you or someone else on your team has an awesome story or tip to share with our community, send us a message at feedback@smartagents.com. Well, that wraps things up for this episode. But remember, follow the show wherever you listen to podcasts and make sure you subscribe to the Smart Agents YouTube channel. Again, I'm your host, Michael Walter, and we'll see you on the next episode.